Y'all, it is a nasty, rainy day. This room is dark, but we're gonna make the most of it. I'm so excited for this video. I am nervous just because these are touchy, sensitive topics that I'm gonna be speaking on today. You know, I prayed before this video and just asked God to really just have me say what he wants me to say, have him speak through me, and for this video to reach who he wants it to reach and touch who he wants it to touch. So, let's do this, y'all. So I asked you guys on my Instagram story what video you wanted to go up this week, and a resounding amount of you wanted for this to be a Christian faith-based related video. So let's do this. I do just want to quickly kind of like set the mood and the tone for this video with a Bible verse. It is Romans chapter 14, verses 1 through 23. I will leave it here for you to read. Please pause the video at this point in time. So basically how I personally interpret these verses is that everyone has their own convictions. Just because I feel like God has convicted me to do something doesn't mean that you have to feel that way. Just because I do something doesn't make it right and what you're doing is wrong, and vice versa. You know, these verses say you, then why do you judge your brother or sister? Why do you treat them with contempt? For we will all stand before God's judgment seat. And I just want to share that because I think it's important to note that these are my personal convictions, my personal beliefs. Doesn't make them right or wrong. You have to decide what you want to do for yourself. So, let's dive in. First, I want to cover the questions that I'm seeing repeatedly asked. One of those being my thoughts on drinking, going to bars, things of that nature. So I personally decided to wait till I was 21 to drink. That's the legal age here in the United States, and I have always just been a big rule follower. I do feel like even if I wasn't Christian, I would have done that regardless. I'm just a big rule follower. So I did personally wait till I was 21 to drink, and that's just something that I felt strongly about and something that I really want to challenge myself to do. You know, the first part of college, high school, going to parties, obviously people around me are drinking, and that doesn't mean that I didn't go to the parties, I just wasn't drinking at the parties. I would definitely get made fun of, like, oh, India's not drinking again, or come on, India, who cares, just have a drink, or, you know, whatever kids say these days. You know, even though people would kind of tease it and make fun of it in like a loving, joking way, people always respected it. And, you know, you can say, oh, ha ha ha, whatever, funny jokes, but then you're like, but I get it, like, it's cool, like, you do you, India, that kind of thing. Yes, I would get teased for it, but I did feel like at the end of the day, everyone knew that that was something I felt strongly about, and people respected it, you know, people, so how have you done this? Like, that's so cool, that's kind of cool, you know, I mean, that's actually kind of cool. Like, I get that a lot, like that type of reaction. It was just something that I decided to stick to. And once I did become 21, I went to Maggiano's. It's like a little Italian restaurant in Atlanta on my 21st birthday. I forgot my ID, okay? I called my dad and I had him send a picture of my driver's license to me, and then the restaurant like just used the picture, which I think you're legally not allowed to do, but like I made a big deal about it being my 21st birthday, so they let me order a drink, and I ordered a Cosmopolitan because Carrie Bradshaw is my favorite like TV character ever, and that was always her go-to drink, and it was disgusting. I don't even think I finished it, but yeah. So that is the very first time that I ever drank, and since then I really just have like a glass of wine like twice a month. I'm just not a big drinker. It's not really my thing, but I do enjoy a glass of red wine with pizza or pasta like on a Friday night a couple times a month, like if it's someone's birthday or something like that. But other than that, it's just not something, it's just not like my thing. So yeah, I do personally feel convicted that it is a sin to be drunk. The tipsiest I've ever gotten, one time I got very intoxicated and it was an accident. I drank, oh gosh, what's it called? A Long Island iced tea, that's what it's called. And girl, I I did not know what was in that. And it was the first time, because a Long Island iced tea, let's see what that is comprised of. Okay, a Long Island iced tea, at least this one that I found, has vodka, gin, white rum, and tequila. So it was only one drink, but it messed me up. I had no idea what was in it. Everyone was just like, let's get a Long Island iced teas. And yeah, that was a mistake. So ever since then, I've never had another Long Island iced tea. And I really don't have more than 2 drinks like for an evening ever, because that's like what I know is my limit and what I feel comfortable drinking. That is my personal view on alcohol. I think that if you are of age and you enjoy a glass of wine, I don't personally find a problem with it. But if you feel convicted that you shouldn't be drinking at all, then by all means, that is what you should be doing. One final thing I want to touch on this topic is, it's a little bit touchy, but it's about being in the world, but not of the world. I try to live my life by that. You know, Jesus hung out with tax collectors, Jesus hung out with prostitutes, Jesus hung out with every type of person in the world. He was in the world, but he was not of the world. And so I personally don't have an issue with going to a bar, being around drunk people, things like that, but I'm not going to then become drunk. I'm not then going to start saying things that I wouldn't normally say. I'm not gonna start dressing in a way that I normally wouldn't dress. So it's a tricky, touchy topic, but I do believe that it is important to be in the world. Hiding in your bedroom about being a Christian is not continuing to proclaim the gospel, in my personal opinion. But you also have to be very, very extremely cautious of not being of the world and starting to become like those around you, if that makes sense. So yeah. Okay. Okay, next I'm seeing a lot of questions on like how I incorporate God into my day-to-day life. And I think that that's really, really extremely important. So for me personally, last year and this year, I've been part of a program at my church called Flourish. For those of you who don't know, I go to Passion City Church here in Atlanta, Georgia. And I'm a part of Flourish. It's a women's Bible study group essentially, where they match you up with a mentor. You will then go through like a work study book kind of. It'll do different parts of the Bible. Last year we went through Ruth. We went through so many books of the Bible, and then we would it would have question prompts we would write, and then we would meet monthly and talk about it. So this year I have a new mentor, and until we jump onto the year 2 Flourish study, we are kind of doing our own thing. So I'm doing 3 pieces every day. One is my gratitude journal. This is just a random journal. I write down something that I am thankful for each and every day. This is something that's amazing to do, whether you are like Christian, religious, whatever or not. It's just an awesome thing for like your mental health. So I have been doing that because my word for the year is gratitude. And then we have also been reading this book called Sick of Me by Whitney Catt. It's a really cute book all about getting out of self and more into God. She is sick of herself, you know, sick of me. I am sick of me. I want to be less like me, more like God. It's a really cute, easy read. So we're reading a chapter of this every week. And then we are reading a chapter of the Bible each week and taking notes and things like that. So last week we did, I write down in my agenda book what I'm supposed to read each day. Last week we did James. So we read through the whole book of James, which is a very short book. And then this week we are reading through 1 Peter. So today I read 1 Peter 1. And then of course, you know, just talking to God throughout the day. Before I film this, praying to him, please God, speak through me. Use me for your glory. Earlier today, I got some good news about like a business contract, and I'm just thanking God for giving me such wonderful opportunities. Trying to incorporate him into my day-to-day life throughout the day. Yeah. Okay, I'm trying to touch on the repeat questions. So a lot of you are asking if I curse, which is so funny to me. I don't know why. So I try not to. I'm not a perfect person. If I like stub my toe or get really bad news, you know, something negative might come out of my mouth, but I really do try. I definitely don't curse like in like a day-to-day life conversation, but in my moments of weakness, I would be lying if I said that I never did. Something that I try to work on, but it's not really something I struggle with. I just try not to do it. If I am around people who do curse, I see myself like letting it slip. And that's just going back to being in the world, but not of the world. You can hang out around people who curse. You can hang out around people who aren't your religion, whatever it may be, but trying to get back to not letting the world affect you and how you speak, how you look at things, how you dress, how you get the gist. Okay, another one that I'm seeing a lot is modesty, which is, I mean, all of these questions could be like a whole video in themselves. Modesty. My definition of modesty might be completely different from your definition of modesty, and someone else who thinks that they're being modest, I might think isn't, and that just goes back to, you know, not judging each other's beliefs and just letting each person do their own thing. Something I want to briefly touch on is simply that everyone has different body types. So, you know, you might wear the same exact outfit in your size, and it looks like the most modest outfit in the world, and then let's say I wear it in my size and it looks not modest at all. So it can just be so tricky. It's such a touchy topic because everyone does have such different bodies to dress. I, for one, am a curvier woman. I am a 32 triple D. Okay, so if I choose to wear like a triangle top bikini, it's gonna look very different than someone with an A-cup triangle top bikini. You might see her picture and think, oh, she looks so cute and adorable, and then you see mine and think, oh my gosh, she needs to cover up. You know, so it's very hard because everyone has such different bodies, and I think that you just need to feel comfortable dressing for your body type. So for me personally, you know, when I try on an outfit, I look in the mirror, I think, is this a little too much? Am I representing my family? Am I representing God, my future husband? Like things like that. And if I'm not, I'll just change tops, change pants, whatever it may be. Okay, next I'm seeing lots of questions on dating a non-believer. So if you're a Christian, should you date an atheist? If you're a Christian, should you date a Muslim? Things like that. Ooh. This is also super touchy topic. I personally have always felt convicted to marry a Christian, and a strong Christian at that. I have heard of people who have gotten married, and then, you know, through the years, their husband has come to know God, and what a miracle that is. And I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with the route that they took, but I personally just feel like, faith just has so much to do with who I am. I need for my husband, when I'm anxious, when I'm stressed, to send me Bible verses. I need, you know, my husband to raise my kids Christian. I need my husband to be okay with tithing 10% of our income to my church. Like, there's just so many facets of my life that I was gonna say like my relationship with God is interwoven with, but like really that just is my life. So for me personally, marrying someone who was not a Christian would just not be an option for me. But I am in no way, shape, or form trying to tell you what to do. I just think it would be very difficult and trying, just on so many levels and so many different aspects of your life. But I think that that's something that you would really just have to go to God with, pray to God about, and try to figure out what's best for you. Next, I'm gonna touch on the topic of sex because I'm getting a lot of questions about it. As someone who's getting married in, I'm not gonna say how many months, but we're down to months, people. It's hard because I want to be very respectful of Daniel. And, you know, when I made my first video about waiting to have sex till marriage, you know, I wasn't dating anyone at that point in time. So I felt like, you know, I wasn't speaking for my significant other as well as just speaking for myself. But now that I'm engaged to marry him, I try to be very cautious of like speaking for him and things like that. But I just wanna say that I am extremely thankful that Daniel is the only person that I will ever have sex with in my life. And that is just a decision that I have made for myself, and something that I am extremely grateful for. And I have just known my whole life that I only want to share that with one person, and that's just a decision that I have made. So yeah, that's all I'm gonna say on that. Okay, goodbye. And on that note, I'm going to end this Q&A. I feel like I haven't done like a faith-related video recently because I just get so nervous. Like, what if I say something that is incorrect? Like, I'm not a pastor, or like I haven't studied the Bible my whole life for my job. Like, I don't know, like I'm not God, you know, I can't represent him to the best of my abilities. I can only represent him to the best of my abilities, you know what I'm saying? So sometimes I just get worried that I'm gonna say something like incorrectly or anything like that. So I just wanna say that I am not perfect. Only Jesus is perfect. And all I can do every day is just try my best to be more like him, to learn more about him, and hopefully let people see a little bit of Jesus through me. And that's all I can try to do. So I love y'all. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Thank you for watching. Give us a thumbs up. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs down if you hated it. Be sure to check out my Instagram. It's great. Leave me some feedback down below. I hope it's nice. No, but leave me feedback. Leave me your thoughts and ideas down below. Like, oh yeah, I agree about this. I disagree about this. You know, I personally feel convicted to not drink. Like, share your stories. I always want this to be a safe place where we can all share. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed today's video. I love y'all. Okay, bye.